Let me ask you a question. Have you ever struggled to make or even maintain a conversation? Maybe you tried the normal small talk, but the conversation lacks energy and slowly grinds to a halt. Your brain reaches for things to ask, but you can't think of anything. And then it happens. The long, awkward silence you were trying to avoid. Eye contact starts to break for both of you as you begin to look around for help, inspiration, or even someone else to talk to. Well, it's happened to the best of us, but what can you do in future to avoid this? In today's video, I'm going to reveal a simple way to create conversations that flow and help build deeper connections. All you need to do is remember shallow, deep, share, repeat. This formula is the foundation of any good conversation. Just like a rabbit hole, you want to get deeper and deeper into a conversation, avoiding dead ends or conversation killers on the way down. A conversation is never scripted and needs to be allowed to flow. What you want is a set of fallback systems should your conversation start to slow. This is where the shallow, deep, share, repeat comes in. So let's jump into it. Shallow stands for surface level conversation topics or small talk. Now, small talk gets a bad name, but only because your conversation doesn't move on and remains stuck at the surface level. Though without it, you wouldn't be able to start a good conversation with someone you've just met. You can't just start a conversation with, "Tell me all your hopes and dreams." That would be a little bit weird. You need your entry-level questions, ones that get your foot into the door. It doesn't have to be the standard boring, "What do you do? Where do you come from?" Though it does help as these questions convey plenty of information we can then use to go deeper. You just want to avoid questions that go nowhere. As a rule, it's best to stick to more passionate topics as people will be more likely to open up and talk. Fun, family, dreams, and work will be your 4 main go-to subjects. Fun relates to anything that people do for fun or recreational purposes. This is the easiest subject to approach, as it's normally something that people will be more passionate about, so I would recommend starting with this. Save the subject of work or occupation for last, as everybody asks this question and is often a conversation killer, as many people aren't overly passionate about what they do and may not want to talk about work, especially while socializing. For example, John: "So do you live here?" Sarah: "Yes, for 1 year now." John: "Nice. Are you into surfing like the others here?" Sarah: "No, I'm not into that." John: "So, what's your thing then?" You could then continue to ask questions to find out more and take the conversation forward. However you bridge the gap to a passion topic, the key thing to do next is to listen and keep your energy high. Most people are bad at listening these days. We're all just waiting to speak or make our point heard. Deep down, we all just want to talk about ourselves and what interests us the most. But talking a lot doesn't mean you're having a good conversation or building rapport. The goal is not to talk at people, but to connect with them. How can you expect to connect with someone and go deeper if you don't listen to what they say? You need to listen, smile, and show that you're interested and engaged. People like to feel important. Simply showing interest and being present in the conversation will make them want to talk to you more. Next, you want to go deeper. Based on the answers you got from the shallow small talk, you want to ask leading questions. This is often called branching. As you get more information, you can branch off in different directions. For example, Sarah: "Well, when I'm not busy working, I like doing yoga." John: "Interesting. What type of yoga?" You could then follow up with, "How did you get into that?" At this point, depending on how much they share, you will have more you can ask. In an ideal world, you would also like yoga and have plenty to talk about. But you may be thinking, "I don't know anything about yoga," and be worried that you may run out of things to ask. At this point, you want to start to share. After all, this is not an interrogation. You shouldn't have to ask all the questions. But if they don't ask, you can share a story that leads to another subject. For example, "I tried that hot yoga once. It was great at first, but then I nearly passed out with the heat. I just had to lie down for the rest of the class and cook like a Christmas turkey. I then moved on to CrossFit, but I've always wanted to try it again. Minus the heat, though." You don't need to get too personal, and I would avoid being negative. The goal is to eventually find common ground and topics that you can share an interest in. Sharing brings a deeper connection, and people normally feel compelled to also share something in return. If the conversation then starts to slow, you move on to the repeat phase. decide to ask another question on the fun topic, or pick another one of the big four subjects. Now that the ice has been broken and you've passed the surface level, your initial questions can be more direct. For example, so do you have any family here? Yes, I have a brother here. Nice, I also have a little brother here. He's a real pain in the arse though. Is yours older or younger? As the conversation goes on and branches off, you'll find you start at a deeper level and move into sharing more naturally. But if it doesn't for any reason, or the conversation starts to slow, then return to the shallow level, pick one of the big four subjects, and repeat. Following this strategy will keep the conversation flowing, and even if it feels like hard work, at some point you will find something that you can share. Common ground is where the magic happens. If you find you struggle with the shallow breakthrough questions, then prepare a few icebreaker questions in advance. You can find hundreds of these online. These will help make you more original and allow you to bridge the gap to more passionate topics more easily. So remember, shallow, deep, share, repeat. Give it a try and let me know how you get on. And if you've come across any other tips to help keep conversations flowing, then share them in the comments below. As always, thanks for watching. If you found value in this video, then hit the like button and be sure to subscribe for more weekly social psychology insights.